Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Daniel Hood Roofing Systems. Not sure if I've ever talked about someone while they're in the studio before, but I am going to talk about Daniel. I can tell you there's no roofer in town with more licenses, seals, certificates, training than Daniel Hood and his team. I know when he's in town, I know when he's out of town, and he is constantly working on. If he's not on a roof, he's somewhere learning how to do roofs better. Guys, as conscientious as they come, and happy to have him on the show. And I know there's a long list of happy customers who've been happy to have him on their roofs. Daniel Hood Roofing Systems. Give him a call this
Daniel
week.
Hood or Santa Claus? Who would you rather have?
Daniel Hood or Santa Claus, right. Daniel Hood's worth more to me as an adult in terms of roof. All right. Quick slants. I give everybody an open mic to talk about any topic we haven't covered or if something we have covered if you want to disagree with somebody. Bob, I'll let you start.
Well, I want to start with the weather delays that we've seen. And I've been watching and going to football games since the 1960s. I don't remember anybody ever buying the farm at a football game because of bad weather. And I know you have to be cautious. I understand if you're in the middle of a lightning storm. I'm outside a lot, and trust me, I get away from lightning. But really, does everything have to be delayed if lightning is 10, 12 miles away?
It was one strike, and the rule is 8 miles, but one strike, and there was no drop of rain in Neyland Stadium at all.
And my son, who has saved us on fishing trips before by getting us out of bad weather before it got to us, he said his app said, nah, no problem. So I just wonder, are you going too far with this stuff? Okay. Not saying disregard, but are you going
for the fans who left, it was a convenient walk downtown in the
that's right.
in the rainless weather.
Josh, what are you going with?
I'm going to say that seniority is not really going to matter with this football team. Now, seniors, juniors that help lead the way, they're going to play. But
what about juniority?
Yeah, that's right. but newcomers are going to get just as much of an opportunity. Whether we're talking about a freshman or we're talking about like Emmett Gooden, a JUCO guy, he stepped up on Saturday. It's going to be more playing time for him. If Jeremy Banks is the best option at running back, then Tennessee's going to put him on the field. I think that's going to be in all areas. Bryce Thompson, not a great game against West Virginia. He started because of the way the week went. So playing time is going to continue to be up for grabs, and every player's going to have to recognize it.
Very good. Jimmy, what do you got?
Third down conversions. Tennessee's defense has been pretty good in that regard. There was 2 of 15 against ETSU, and in the first half against West Virginia was 0 for 3. What's impressive about that is you've got really good numbers for 3 halves out of 4, and you don't have a great pass rush, and you don't have a great secondary, and you've been stopping them on whether it's 3rd and 1 or 3rd or 8 and 3rd or 13 for the most part. So somehow they've been really good on 3rd down, even though the pass rush is limited and the secondary has some holes.
Good point. Chuck Cavaleras.
Yeah, well, you know what? Tennessee paid $500,000 for a football victory and a lot of highlights yesterday. The next opponent coming in is ranked 130th out of 130. For the merchants and the fans, don't you think it's about time to look at scheduling up and bringing in like a Power 5 school, a really quality opponent? The Cavaleras plan would have Tennessee and East Tennessee State playing a spring game. Don't you think that's really the way it was?
Yeah. Well, that's, I mean, you've played back, I would argue, we could go back through history, but in the modern era, this will probably be, and it's hard to argue, the worst back-to-back visiting non-conference foes Tennessee has ever played.
And you have first 2 home games, too.
Yeah. Bad FCS team and the worst team in the FBS on a 14-game losing streak.
Well, Tennessee's always brought in the Fresno States and stuff. But the Fresno States come in here, and you go, okay, sometimes those are decent football teams.
Yeah. Well, at least you got Charlotte coming in later, and they were 1-11 last year. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to skip my slant. Everybody can applaud. Let's save time. Come back next segment. Who's up in our Beat the House segment and who's already down? And how the heck am I trailing Sterling? Come on back on the Sports Source.